Bryce thought about waking Natalie up, but instead just looked at her sleeping. Perhaps he didn't want to ruin this rare moment of serenity. Then, ignoring those feelings, he walked over and gently picked Natalie up in his arms. As soon as he touched her, she opened her eyes. They looked at each other. "What are you doing? Put me down!" Reflexively, Bryce let go of her. Natalie bounced on the sofa as she landed, grimacing in pain. "Ouch!" She sat up and folded her arms, glaring at Bryce. "Bryce, you're too much. You just threw me down like a wrestler. I thought you'd be grateful if I did as you asked." "Who asked you to carry me anywhere anyway? What were you plotting?" "Plotting? This is my house. You are my wife in name. So how is it I'm plotting against you?" Natalie had no reply for him. She could only glare at him. "So why are you still awake this late anyway?" "I'm hungry. I'm going downstairs to look for something to eat." He ignored her and went to the kitchen by himself. Not long after, he came back with a bottle of water and started to drink it. She shrugged. Then she got up and went to the kitchen herself. A short time later, Natalie emerged from the kitchen carrying 2 plates of pasta with sauce and a couple of forks. She put one down in front of Bryce and said, "Have some," before starting on her own plate. "This is really good. Thank you. How's your work these days?" She described what she'd been working on that evening and gave a brief outline of the plan she'd made. Bryce took the papers she'd been talking about and looked at them. "Not bad. Not bad at all." Thinking about it some more, Bryce said, "Maybe there's an opportunity I can point you towards. Recently, I've heard that Bernie Rostov is looking for an actor to star when he directs Crossing 2. This could be an opening for you and your new actor guy, huh?" "Is that true?" "Of course, but this is privileged information for you at this stage. There'll be an official announcement about the movie in the next few days." "Thank you. You're wonderful." Bryce watched her go and suddenly felt a sense of affection in his heart. The next morning, she woke up feeling refreshed. After breakfast, she and Bryce sent Liam to school. Later, on the way to her office, she thought about how she would communicate her plan to Tony when he came over. To Natalie's surprise, she found that Tony had arrived at the office before her. Looking at his high-spirited expression, Natalie felt gratified. "By the way, did the hospital tell you when the surgery would start?" "The doctor said in a week, maybe. If there's anything you need my help with in the meantime, just ask, okay? There's no need for formality between us." Tony was even more touched after hearing that. "You've already given me such a huge sum of money. I'm really grateful. But if you really want to thank me, you just have to work hard. I'll be waiting for you to work hard and pay me back." Tony pursed his lips and smiled. "Of course. The money question is also a motivation for me. You're not only my agent, but also my creditor." Natalie passed Tony a typed document. On the front page, there were 3 words: Tony Bavel's plan. Curious, Tony opened the document and read it. "Natalie, did you mistype? Why does my resume include martial arts training as well?" "I didn't write it wrong, and neither did you read it wrong. In addition to the regular rehearsals and skills, I want you to treat martial arts as a specialty and spend more time on it." Tony agreed sincerely and read the contents of the document again carefully. "Okay, I'll come over later to check on you." Next, she turned on her computer and logged into Tony's social media account. She posted the trailer of the original Crossing movie that she had found the day before. At the same time, she wrote a comment on the video, "Happy 3rd anniversary." Fortunately, there were still some fans left who remained loyal to Tony Bavel. She saw comments like these: "Wow, I'm not seeing things right. Tony Bavel actually updated his social media? Well, my eyesight isn't great, but is this post hinting at something? Could it be that Tony Bavel is about to make a comeback? No matter what, Tony, we always love you." Natalie got the feeling that this was definitely a good start. When Curtis saw that Tony had updated his social media after such a long gap, he immediately interrupted Ellington, walking in on him and saying, "Look, there's some movement from Tony Bavel's side. I wonder what game he's playing." Ellington snatched Curtis's phone from him. "Ha! That's really funny. He's still dreaming about turning the tables on us. I'm afraid there's no hope for him." But despite his flippant attitude, his heart was still filled with foreboding. After Curtis left, he posted 2 sarcastic comments, implying that Tony had no future at all. Natalie, meanwhile, after reading the comments of a few fans, decided to check on Tony's training. She stood at the door of the training room, noting that Tony hadn't let her down. He was throwing himself into his training, sweating profusely. Looking at his flushed cheeks, Natalie smiled and took out her cell phone to film him working out. She posted the workout video to her own social media page with a caption, "Sweat and Toil." Natalie continued to watch Tony from the door and was delighted by his serious attitude. She called out, "Wow, Tony, you're really putting in a lot of effort. It's great!" Just then, she heard Mark Ellington's voice.
Hi, I am Natalie. Want to know my story? Then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of The Return Now.